Now to baseball, Pirates and Phillies' little Keystone rivalry. Phils clinch a playoff spot with the win. It was a pitcher's duel most of the game. Aaron Nola recorded his 200th strikeout this season for the Phils. Bucks pitcher Mitch Keller didn't give up a hit until the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th, no score. Brandon Marsh with a solo bomb, deepest part of the ballpark. Phillies would tack on another run in that inning after a sac fly from Bryce Harper, makes it 2-0. Now top of the 7th, Brian Reynolds says, hey, you know, I can get into that part of the park too. His home run makes it 2-1. Henry Davis would tie it up at 2 with the home run of his own in the 8th. We go to extra innings in this one. Bottom of the 10th, Johan Rojas, the rookie, his first career walk-off hit. He sends the Phillies into the postseason. Phillies win 3-2, and they also clinch home field advantage in the wild card round.
It doesn't get much better than this, guys. Altoona and State College, one of the biggest matchups we have. We have so many great rivalries, but it doesn't get much better than this. And I'm joined alongside the visiting head coach, Vince Niedermeyer. And Vince, so coming into this game, you guys are coming off a big road win, going on the road again. How do you replicate the success that you guys had last week?
I mean, I think it's just preparation throughout the week. We had a good week of practice. A lot of times you see the most improvement from, week 1 to maybe week 3. And we were fortunate to be able to do that in those 2 games. And, the hope is that we can carry that on into tonight.
Right, yeah, and you spoke to our Jordan Tracy earlier this week. You told him State College is so good at reloading. What impresses you about this State College team?
Like I said, I think to Jordan that night, the tradition that they've built down here is something similar to what we've had in years past and what we're building towards at Altoona. So just a tribute to Matt and his staff and the things that they do down here and the winning culture that they've kind of produced. And we're getting there. Our kids are bought into what we're doing at Altoona as well, and we're working every day towards that.
Ron Mosley last week, he had a huge game, and he was our Sports Beat Player of the Week. 3 touchdowns, over 160 yards rushing. How does he replicate that success on the field tonight?
He would tell you the same thing I am. As long as we play well up front and we're sound in our assignments on the offensive line, anybody, could hopefully have a successful night behind that line. And that's what we're hoping to replicate tonight with him. He's a big, strong kid. And, when the ball is in his hands, a lot of times good things happen.
Of course, the last time you faced off against the State College team was in the championship last year. What are maybe some lessons you guys, learned, from that game that you can take into this matchup this time around?
We were pretty banged up last year, and they were really, really good. And, again, they're a good football team this year, and a lot of kids that we have that are going to play tonight played in that game for us back then. So we're hoping that, the experience that they gathered from that will come out tonight, and we'll put ourselves in a position to win late in the game.
Right, yeah, and a lot of hype and a lot of excitement surrounding this game here at Memorial Field, and you're gonna want to catch all of the highlights on SportsBeat at 11:10 for our game of the week. Guys, back to you.
Guys, it's the Curse 5th sellout of the year, actually, but this game is extra special. Everyone wants to go Saturday night to see Skeens. Now, of course, I'm talking about starting pitcher Paul Skeens, who the Pirates took with the #1 overall pick in this year's draft. Penn State football heads to Northwestern this week, looking to keep its 6-game turnover-less streak alive. It's the longest in the country. Now, what's the secret? Andrew Clay reports it's the team's ability to learn from mistakes that don't show up on the box score. Well, it's hard to believe, but we are less than 2 months out from Penn State basketball's season opener against Delaware State. The Nittany Lions released their schedule today and includes some key matchups like a date with St. Francis, an NCAA tournament rematch with Texas A&M in November, and a matchup at the Palestra with Michigan. We have more on the schedule release at WTAJ.com. Despite a 26-22 win over the Browns last night, chants of Fire Canada came from the stands as the Pittsburgh offense struggled yet again. Anxious fans have been upset with the Steelers' offensive coordinator. Mike Tomlin said today he doesn't share the same concern that the fans have, but he appreciates their passion.
It's a journey we've been following for weeks. Hollidaysburg Little League Baseball is making its 5th appearance in the World Series. But this year's team has a new rallying cry made by a team superfan and fellow baseball player. Our Jack McCune caught up with his family and his team's coach to learn how the Tigers started using bull power.
You may have noticed Hollidaysburg Baseball's new celebration in its last two games, making bullhorns for home runs and clutch hits, and stomping on home plate for another run scored. And it's all for the team learned the rally chant from one of their biggest supporters.
And remember, boys, bull power!
Carmine Calderon is a 21-year-old ball player for the Bradford team of the Challenger Little League, an adaptive baseball program for players with physical and intellectual disabilities. After losing to Keystone in late July, the Hollidaysburg team met Carmine when they stayed for a Bradford Challenger game at the same field. And they stayed to congratulate them after.
Hollidaysburg was fantastic about sticking around.
They just ran on the field, stepped on the base, started encouraging everybody.
Give them some space, right? You know, coaching and mentoring them to play the game as well as they could.
Tigers players quickly noticed Carmine's celebration of choice. The two teams then started exchanging videos to encourage each other.
Hey Carmine, it's Coach Jim and the rest of the boys from Team Pennsylvania.
And the bull theme and friendship stuck ever since.
Carmine, are you the biggest fan of the Hollidaysburg Tigers?
Yes.
Aaron and Josh Bridge started the Bradford Challenger team earlier this year with their daughter Delaney, who also plays for the team. They said they started it for something bigger than the World Series.
The biggest thing is inclusivity. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody loves the game of baseball, and to play it with each other, why not?
They never thought just one player would make such an impact on so many others.
I get to hold up the sign saying, bull power!
I'm Jack McCune for WTAJ News.
And you can see the Tigers show their bull power on Thursday at 7 o'clock in their first game in the World Series.